Hello everyone, welcome to Screen Scream on Viola. Sorry for the delay because I attended a conference last week and I really didn't have time to record the show. But since I just resumed the update, I will try my best to update regularly. So today I'm going to talk about movies that I've seen and I highly recommend. The first new movie is the only movie that we're going to talk about today that's not a Hollywood one. Let's listen to the introduction first. If only I could hibernate. A poor but prideful teenage boy, Uzi, determines to win a physics competition for a scholarship. But his illiterate mother finds a job in the countryside and leaves him with his siblings in the middle of the winter. The first new movie we're going to talk about today is a Mongolian movie. I'm not sure, but I think I haven't seen any Mongolian movies before. But when I went to the screening of If Only I Could Hibernate, I really liked it. This movie is the very first Mongolian movie that's selected to, besides Uncertain Regard, If Only I Could Hibernate was also nominated for a Camera d'Or, which is an award for new directors. The whole movie is full of beautiful landscape and scenery, but it is within the mountains and the lands. You can see how urbanization brings progress and impact to Mongolia, the capital of Mongolia, through this talented teenage boy's growth, courage, and determination. As I mentioned, it was selected into Uncertain Regard at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, but it also got the Audience Award at the 2023 Swedish Human Rights Film Festival. Basically, the movie wants to tell us that when you have talent, nothing can stop you. But before Uzi embraces his talent and uses his talent to get into a grade school, he has to deal with the tricky problems at home because his mother loses another job and they can't even afford the my coals for burning to get warmth. So how is he going to endure the severe winter with his little brother and sister? When I went to find some information after I watched the movie, I found out that in the winter, Mongolia could be minus 40 Celsius degree, or we can say Fahrenheit, because minus 40 is the degree that's the same for both Celsius and Fahrenheit. But it could even go colder. It could be maybe minus 50 Celsius degree. It's really cold. And people buy coals to burn for warmth. And that's the reason of the pollution in Mongolia. So it really is a difficult situation. And that's the first new movie I wanted to introduce to you. Now let's move on to the second new movie, which I've been looking forward to for a long time. The Fall Guy. A down-and-out stuntman must find the missing star of his ex-girlfriend's blockbuster film. The second new movie we're going to talk about today is The Fall Guy. I've been looking forward to it because it stars Ryan Gosling. I love Ryan Gosling. And after I watched it, I wouldn't say it's the best movie this year. It's not even, maybe not top 10 this year, but it's pretty good. Basically, the movie pays tribute to the stuntsman. The director himself, David Leitch, was a stuntsman. So that's the reason why he wanted to make this movie. He said that movie makers long time ago were all stuntsmen because at the time there wasn't any CGI, computer generated images. If anyone wanted to present any scenes that were very outrageous, they had to film it themselves. So all the actors before were stuntsmen. And actually, The Fall Guy is adapted from a TV series in the 80s with the same name. But even though it's adapted from that TV series, the director didn't want to just adapt from that because the character settings and the plot structures at the time can apply to what the world we're living right now. But the adventurous spirits and the magic of Hollywood are still pretty attractive. The director wanted to film this movie without any CGI. That's amazing. Since the movie itself talks about stunts, right? They basically play with a lot of stunts in it. For example, Ryan Gosling, the scriptwriter, the director, the stunt director, and the producer, before they filmed, they actually sat together, discussed, and came up with a wish list of the stunts they want to have in this movie, including racing cars, car flips, and jumping out from a helicopter. These stunts were actually nothing long time ago. All the stuntsmen had to know how to do these tricks. But now, out of safety concerns or saving money, they don't do it anymore. They just go with CGI. So in order to film this movie, the crew hired almost 120 something stuntsmen, and when they announced this request, many stuntsmen said that they want to participate in this movie because nowadays they can't do these movements anymore. They're replaced by CGI. I literally watched the stunts and cried. So if you like Ryan Gosling, like me, or you like stunts in the movies, especially real ones, or you just want to pay tribute to these stuntsmen, I recommend you to watch the full guide. And before we move on to Top 007, let's review what we had from last week first. Top 3 last week was Haikyuu, the movie Decisive Battle at the Garbage. We had 2 top 2s, Dune Part 2 and Kung Fu Panda 4. And top 1, Godzilla Kong, The New Empire. Actually, not many changes on the chart this week, but there are some newcomers, and those are the ones we're going to talk about later. So let's listen to top 7 to top 4 first. Top 6, Dune, Part 2.
The end of House Atreides. Your father didn't believe in revenge.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
We're losing the war. Hitler is not playing by the rules.
Top 5, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
You have a miner hanging out the side of a moving vehicle, firing a laser.
Top 4, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom. There are 2 new faces on this part of the chart this week, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom. Apparently, I'm not familiar with Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom. I know it's pretty famous in Taiwan right now, but I'd like to talk about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. It's director Guy Ritchie's latest film. It's based on true story, and it's just so crazy that you can't believe it's true. When I watched the movie, I was like, wait, you said this is based on a true story at World War I? I don't believe you. And when I looked up for some information after I watched the movie, I was so shocked. Yes, they were real. I mean, of course, there are elements added in the movie in order to increase the entertainment of the movie, but the director didn't twist any truth, so everything was real. That was amazing. And I saw people criticize this movie because they said, how come all the characters in the movie weren't hurt, or it seems like they're superheroes, their mission so smooth, this and that. I was like, well, did you not watch the movie? Their mission wasn't smooth. There were a lot of obstacles. That's the reason why this movie is so exciting and so good. But the thing is, even though in the history they did finish this mission safe and sound, none of them made it through World War One. That's pretty sad. I mean, I don't think this is spoiler because this is nothing mentioned in the movie, and it's history, so if you go look for the information, you would know. I think that's the cruelty of war, and even though the director didn't intend to tell us this in this movie, I think all the movies related to war are telling us this message. And now, last but not least, let's move on to the last movie we're going to talk about today from top 3 to top 1. Coincidentally, it's related to war as well. Top 3, Civil War.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the...
Haikyuu, the movie. Decisive battle at the garbage dump. Top 2, Kung Fu Panda 4.
Dinner with peas in a sesame soy glaze. This is not working at all.
Top 1, Godzilla, Kong, The New Empire.
This world has more secrets than we could possibly imagine.
Alright, there are 3 movies from top 3 to top 1 this week, but there's only one new phase, Civil War, so that's the one I'm going to talk about. Although Civil War is going to be released in Taiwan only next week, it's already released in the US and see, it's on the chart, so it's pretty popular. I feel that we can talk about it before it's released in Taiwan. Although the title Civil War is actually not talking about the civil war in history, it's about, I wouldn't say it's fake, it's an imagined civil war in the future, possible one. We hope it doesn't happen, but that's about what the US might face in the future. And what's most interesting about this movie is that Kirsten Dunst, who played Mary Jane in the Spider-Man series, played a war journalist in this movie. And actually, there are experienced actors and newbies in the cast of this movie. I don't know if we should say Kirsten Dunst is an experienced actress. Well, I think she is. She's an experienced one. She's not old, but she's definitely not a newbie. Aside from her, there's also Kaylee Spaney, who won the Best Actress at Venice Film Festival last year. She also got nominated for Best Actress at Golden Globe Awards this year. They also cast Wagner Moura, who played a Netflix TV series. These 3 main characters are going to cooperate and try to survive in the United States in the wartime. Besides the actors, this movie is especially good because it's created by a talented screenwriter. If you're a movie-holic, I'm pretty sure you know the production house, A24. They're like an Oscar-guaranteed brand. They won a lot of awards with Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Well. They spent $50 million on this movie, Civil War. They call it a blockbuster movie, but I would say Everything Everywhere All at Once and My Well were also pretty entertaining. I wouldn't say they're art house film. So I think A24 is doing a pretty good job on balancing these two. They can produce movies with good qualities, but also general public can accept it. Besides, if you go check the previous works of the director, you can imagine that this movie, Civil War, definitely has both quality and entertainment. You know, in recent years, the social split in the US has been very serious. I think that's the reason why the director specifically arranged Texas and California on the same side. It's really weird. People would think, huh? Could they ever stand on the same side? And people are interested, you know. So that's the theme of Civil War. It's going to be released in Taiwan next week. If you're interested, I recommend you to watch it next week. Although this is the only movie I haven't seen in today's episode, I still believe it's a good one. And that's all the time we have today. I hope you enjoy the show, and I will try to catch up with future episodes. So stay tuned, and I will be back. See you next time. I'm Viola. Bye bye.